Hi there. How y'all doing? I've got the final boss battle for Arkham City right here. And before I start this out, whoa, I'm kind of running in place. What happened there? Some kind of glitch. But there's some stuff. I'm really excited to be doing this because there's some stuff I wanted to talk about before I actually get to the boss battle. Right here behind the movie theater, the infamous Crime Alley. Everyone knows the story. Bruce Wayne, as a young child, his parents took him to see the movie The Mark of Zorro. Something in the film frightens him, and his father agrees that they leave early. They leave the theater. Bruce decides that he wants to take a shortcut through this alley behind the movie theater, and his father agrees. And as they're walking through the alley, a low-life, common street thug named Joe Chill jumps out and demands Martha's jewelry. It doesn't go well, as you know, and Bruce Wayne's parents are killed.
How does it feel?
Right behind this alley. I could have done this earlier in the game, but the game culminates right at the movie theater. The first time I was ever exposed to this story and the character of Joe Chill was in the late 80s, at the beginning of the Batman Year 2 storyline, with a villain called the Reaper, who I really like the Reaper character, where Batman, finally, after all the years of training and, all of his dedication, he finally confronts the man who kills his parents. And the opportunity to exact any kind of revenge is taken from him when the villain, the Reaper, ends up shooting Joe Chill and killing him. Now, before we go into the movie theater, right up here, this sign, hold on, let me see if I can get it into focus, because this is kind of a big deal. The Terror. Basil Karlo is the Terror. I really wanted to talk about this because I am a fan. I'm a lifetime fan of the original old Universal horror monster films. The Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, all of those. The character of Clayface, who, as I'm sure you know, this is not a spoiler, is the final boss battle for this. The Penguin had Solomon Grundy. His rival in this game, the Joker, has Clayface. That's his muscle.
The show's about to begin.
Basil Karlo was the original Clayface. He was an old horror movie actor, just like the old Universal horror films. And as a matter of fact, I don't know, how much common knowledge this is, but the name Basil Karlo is taken from two of the original stars from the Universal horror films, Basil Rathbone, and Boris Karloff, who was the original Frankenstein.
You would never do it.
That storyline kind of played out as it was kind of similar to the sequel to the Scream film from maybe a decade ago, where they were doing a remake of the film The Terror. And Basil Karlo was not going to be in the film, so he decided, he went completely mad, and he decided that he was going to kill off all of the characters from the film in the order that they were supposed to die in the movie, just like in Scream. I don't know if that's where the guys from Scream got that or not, but it's exactly the same thing. Originally, he had no superpowers. He was just, it was kind of like the Phantom of the Opera, the old Universal horror film, just the Phantom of the Opera. He didn't get his superpowers until later, and there have been like 8 variations of the villain Clayface. Basil Karloff was the first, but he didn't get his powers until after injecting the powers from the 3rd and 4th Clayface into himself, making himself the ultimate Clayface, or that's what he coined himself, the ultimate Clayface.
Let's just say, at times like these, it's important to keep up.
And he is, just like Hugo Strange, he is strictly a Batman villain, even though he did have a small arc with Wonder Woman. Because Wonder Woman is a clay construct too, if you know anything about her history. She's a clay construct come to life because her mother really wanted a daughter. The goddess Aphrodite granted her mother Hippolyta's wish and created this ultimate superpowered Amazon. So he did have an arc with Wonder Woman, and Donna Troy was a part of that too, who was the original Wonder Girl.
The role of a lifetime!
But apparently in this game he's playing the Joker it's the role of a lifetime.
The final act just started.
Okay, this boss battle doesn't start out really hard. It gets increasingly more difficult as, you know, like every boss battle does, but then there's this, yeah, it's pretty much dodging and throwing the freeze cluster grenades at him. That's pretty much this whole boss battle. Just dodging and tossing the same weapon. Which the first time you play this, you know, that'll throw you. Once you get the hang of it, though, it's not that tough. Boom! Yeah. And I wanted to use the so-called Batman 1970 suit for this. Because this is the costume when Batman confronts Joe Chill, and there's that whole Reaper storyline, he still had this costume. This was, through most of his Clayface battles that he had, this was the costume that he always had.
Are you supposed to be playing with my... What the hell are you doing, son?
But I think it's really cool, since there have been 8 different versions of the Clayface character. The one that they put in this game was the original, from 1941. Well, technically 1940, but you didn't really, they didn't have any really deep stories with him until a year later. And his character actually didn't get really deep. It's kind of the same thing like Mr. Freeze. When Batman the Animated Series came out... Oh, oops, that didn't work. When Batman the Animated Series came out, that was when they really revolutionized the Mr. Freeze character. Same thing with Clayface, in my opinion. Same thing. Where they really gave him a deep story arc. And, didn't get out of the way of that either. Hold on. You see, trying to talk and play. But this stuff, that's, you know, really important stuff to me, because I'm a lifetime Batman fan, so I really wanted to get all this stuff, as much of it as I could anyway, into this video. While at the same time, trying to fight this boss. Oh! I missed. Good.
You're supposed to be killing Batman, remember?
Oh, and we're not done here. This boss battle goes on. There's an entire lower tier of this where we still are fighting this guy. Clayface, however, was never one of my favorite Batman villains, but I really like his origin story, the reference to the old Universal classic horror monsters, which is another genre that I'm completely in love with.
Would a change of scenery help ease the pain?
And here we go, here we go. And watch the sword. The first time I played this game, not even 6 inches away from death. That just tripped me out. That could have gone either way. And here we go. But initially, after injecting himself with the powers of Clayface 3 and Clayface 4, which Clayface 3 was Preston Payne, and Clayface 4 was Sandra Fuller. After injecting himself with their powers and becoming the quote-unquote ultimate Clayface, then he obviously has shape-shifting abilities. He's obviously pretty much invulnerable. which having the power over clay is similar to Terra from the Teen Titans, who has the power over the molten rock, which is what the Earth is made of. So she pretty much controlled the power of the Earth, which made her immensely powerful, like more powerful than, say, any of the other Titans, except for maybe Raven. Raven, whose powers come from the demon Trigon, Conqueror of Worlds. This is kind of similar to the Ra's al Ghul boss battle, where there's ninjas coming at you from all sides. They go down pretty easy. You only really have to hit them once or so. Kind of the same thing. They're all around you. Yep. There's a lot of blocking and a lot of dodging involved, and Clayface is also spitting, like, you know, clay at you as well. There we go. That's the end. And that's the end of this boss battle. This, however, is not the end of the walkthrough. Anybody that's played this game knows that there's more after this, but as far as the storyline is concerned and Batman are concerned, this is pretty much the end. There are segments coming up after this with Catwoman, which I'm really looking forward to that too, because I haven't really talked about Catwoman that much. Even though we've done like 3 parts of her story in this so far. I was saving it till the end, because there's 2 videos left that are going to be Catwoman.
Get out of my way, bats. I've come
And
to
at
take
least 1, possibly 2, after that with the Riddler. Here we go. Yeah. But the guy, whoever wrote this storyline, did a really good job of taking all of these villains and all of their motivations and combining them into one story. You have the Joker and his madness. You have Ra's al Ghul's Lazarus Pit combined with the Joker story. They threw Clayface in here. I mean, they combined all of these really, really well.
poison Gotham in hell. It's not
I'm
even
absolutely looking forward to the next game, which comes out in approximately 3 weeks.
Every decision you've ever made ends with death and misery. People die. I stop you. You'll just break out and do it again.
Think of it as a running gag. No!
And there we go. The Joker, in his madness, is the cause of his own demise. He actually is in the first place, because the Titan Serum, which is killing him, it's his own fault that he's infected with it. So the Joker, in his madness, is the cause of his own demise.
Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
I also really like the fact that in Arkham Origins, the Joker is going to have a huge part in that too. Like, this is the end of the Joker. The next game is the prequel, and it's going to be the beginning of the Joker. And I just think that's great, and I'm really looking forward to it. And there's that last gasp of air. And no more Joker. Didn't like the fact that they killed him in this game. But in the original Tim Burton film in 1989, I remember how mad I was when they killed the Joker in that film. I was not happy at all. The Joker has been around forever. If there's any Batman villain who should survive as long as Batman survives, it's the Joker. These two guys are linked together. They will always be linked together. They're complete polar opposites of each other. And here we see Catwoman. This is going to lead into the next video with her. They didn't really give you a lot on Commissioner Gordon in this game either. I'm hoping they do in the next one, because I'd really like to talk about him too. They just didn't give him a really huge role in this game at all.
What the hell happened in there?
Okay, there's going to be at least 3, possibly 4 more videos to this walkthrough, which I want to have done before October 25th. But I thank you guys so much for watching, so much. I will see you guys next time.